This is a Rabble Podcast Network show. New voices in your head.
I became Director of Psychiatric Research, Province of Saskatchewan, Department of Public Health in 1950. Until 1967, I was Associate Professor of Psychiatry at the University of Saskatchewan. At that time, I was in charge of a very large research program, and we became known for our work with psychedelic drugs. In fact, there's a film made called Psychedelic Pioneers, based upon the first 10 years of our research. We made our major discoveries then about schizophrenia and about the use of vitamins as a potentially good treatment. In 1967, I resigned from my two jobs. They were nice, cushy jobs. I didn't have to do anything. I could have stayed there forever until I retired at 65, but I didn't want to. I wanted to help patients. Went to private practice in Saskatoon, moved to Victoria in 1976. And at the end of last year, I surrendered my medical license for many reasons. And I opened up a new business, and this is the Orthomolecular Vitamin Information Center. That you are now sitting in the office of OVIC, Orthomolecular Vitamin Information Center. Yeah. It was a term developed by Dr. Linus Pauling, who was a good friend of mine. Ortho means correct. Molecule, we know what that is. So he implied that the human body would function normally as long as it was able to obtain the right natural molecules that it needed in order to survive. As long as the body had the right number of amino acids, vitamins, minerals, hormones, and all these other things, it was okay. So therefore, orthomolecular meant that we would emphasize the use of these natural components to provide treatment on the assumption that in most cases there was something wrong in these different elements. And so that's the term. Now, he published that term in 1968 in an article in Science magazine. It's a very major article. The term was accepted with hostility, fantastic hostility. And the medical profession became extremely hostile to Dr. Linus Pauling. I hadn't heard about me, so I didn't get any of that hostility. But he's a double Nobel Prize winner, and he's got his foot up. And they said he is a mere PhD. In fact, he had 38 of them. He also had many DSCs, Doctors of Science. But he said he ought not to be making any statements about the use of vitamins. In fact, it was his work and the structure of the molecule and the reaction of molecules within the body that was the basis, that created the basis for modern medicine today. So orthomolecular means that we emphasize proper nutrition, the use of vitamins in adequate quantities, which may be large or small. Minerals, we use everything we can to help our patients get well. We are not against drugs, but we are against their use the way they're being used today. We are in favor of the proper use of drugs. That is, minor quantities, and get the patient off as soon as you possibly can. So that's orthomolecular. The main difference is that our patients get well. Now, the term cure does not exist in psychiatry. You didn't know that, did you? If you look in the standard psychiatric dictionary, the word cure is being deleted, because the average psychiatric point of view is that you cannot cure anyone. You cannot cure them. You can help them. You can relieve them some of the symptoms, but you can't cure them. So that's why they are content. If they get a schizophrenic patient who's placed upon heavy medication and he's no longer hallucinating, he's no longer hearing voices and seeing visions, the fact that he now is unable to function, that he sits around at home salivating and watching TV all day, they think that's great. Because that's all they're expected to do. They're not expected to cure anyone. They're expected merely to get them out of the hospital so they can stay at home and let their family worry about them. On the other hand, we don't have that view. And my friends and I in this whole field of orthomolecular psychiatry, we are aiming at recovery. And I'll give you an example. A young patient that I saw, 73 I think it was, when he was 15 or 16, he was schizophrenic. I started him on the orthomolecular treatment approach, which meant paying attention to the right nutrition, getting him off junk food, putting him on the right vitamins, which in his case was mostly vitamin D3, niacin. I think it was niacin. I only saw him once or twice because at that time I left Saskatoon to come here, and so I couldn't see him anymore. Today, he is on the professorial staff at Oxford University in England. He's normal. He's normal ever since. Another patient, I've seen over 5,000 schizophrenic patients, I know 17 young men who were schizophrenic in their teens who recovered, took medicine, became doctors. One today heads up a large pediatric clinic. He's a graduate of Harvard University. One is today head of a large psychiatric department at an American university. They don't know his history. And the third one became the president of the Canadian Psychiatric Association. They don't know his history either. He had been a patient of mine. These were young men who were seriously sick and who became doctors and were able to practice. So that we are aiming toward recovery. Now, we can't always get there, but we try. Now, basically, there are four things you have to do to help people get well. You have to give them shelter. You'll never get the homeless well. You cannot treat homeless people, and half the homeless are schizophrenic. They're being very shabbily treated. There is no shelter. Secondly, you have to have good food. You have to have really good food, as well. You would agree with that. They have to be treated with civility. They have to be treated with respect. They have to be treated as humans. And today, unfortunately, in psychiatry, too often patients are not treated that way at all. They're badly treated, mistreated. They're forced to take injection against their will, even though that's against the law in Canada. And the fourth aspect of treatment is what I call orthomolecular. They have to be given the right combination of nutrition, vitamins, minerals, and medication if necessary, but it has to be used carefully and always to make sure that the patient is not damaged in that process. The main message, I think, has to be that we have to change the system. The system is sick and corrupt. We have to change the system. And eventually, we have to make the medical profession accountable. Someone has to ask the medical profession, why do you tolerate this? We have to ask them that. What we need in Canada is an independent commission headed by a judge, broad sweeping commission to actually examine the whole issue. Why is the medical profession not being held accountable? No one ever, if you blame anyone, who do you blame? You blame the drug companies, you blame the hospitals, you blame the government for not putting in enough money, you blame the food supply. Have you ever heard anyone saying to the medical profession, how come you don't do a better job? Have you ever heard that? Well, I think this has to be examined. If you go to a hospital and say, why don't you do a better job? You said, I will. Give me more money. I need more staff, more doctors, more nurses. It doesn't mean a damn. If you give them 10 times as many nurses and doctors, they have the wrong treatment, they still don't get well. Big Pharma controls medicine today. They give huge grants to the medical schools, and often these medical schools don't have time to do any other studies. They're so busy working for the drug companies. So they control almost everything. They're advertising. In the United States alone, they spend $19 billion. $19 billion a year in advertising for doctors. And they claim that the advertising doesn't persuade doctors, which is kind of funny. If it didn't persuade doctors, why would they spend $19 billion trying to do that? They control the journals. Any medical journal today that you pick up, at least half the pages are drug ads. You'll never find an ad for good food. You won't find an ad for vitamins. You won't find an ad for folic acid. You don't have these things. So we're in a terrible situation. The system is really sick. And you can quote me literally. I think the system is absolutely sick. And it has to be changed. And I'm not the only one that says that. Province of Ontario said the same thing. The latest Senate committee by Senator Kirby said the same thing. If you read his report, he says it's dysfunctional. What does that mean? He calls the Canadian health system dysfunctional. It means it's sick. And so I certainly agree with all these people who have looked at it, famous editors, writers who have written books about this, and they all maintain the system is sick, and I agree. And we have to do something about it. We have to do what you're doing. We have to notify the public. We have to let the public know exactly what's happening. Because right now they don't know.
This is a Rabble Podcast Network show. New voices in your head.